Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for August 22nd through the 28th, 2022. So before I begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone who's returning to this weekly series and to welcome anyone who's new to the Angelic Wisdom community. Before we begin, I just want to make you aware that I will be working on the angel scopes, so the different zodiac signs, and the general monthly the general monthly reading for September, and and then also, I just want to make a few comments about those the comments I've been reading, and they're just really were insightful. And so I'm going to encourage you all to really share your wisdom as well. I think it's a great way for everyone, to build a community here. And as I've said, I don't always have the chance to respond to each one, but I do read them and I appreciate them. But what I think is more important is that what others who come to our community will be able to discover. And I know oftentimes, you read through comments and on YouTube, there's a lot of complaining. But in a setting like this, there's a lot of inspiration, right? And I think it's wonderful for you all to share your inspirations that you've received from the readings, and also that gives people who are joining the community or people who've been in the community for a long time to start to really recognize who is here, the kind of souls that are here, because all of you are contributing to what comes through these readings. As I've told you many times, and I don't know if you really believe me, but I connect in with the I am presence of each and every one of you and your ascension teams of light and love and so therefore the what I'm getting is coming from your higher wisdom collectively. That's why I often hear it for the first time myself. So I'm just as much a witness as I am also taken on a double role of being a facilitator of it. But it's because of all of you, and then to be able to have witness to it in the physical realm is more impactful. And so you never know what your comments, how it might help someone else. And so please don't be afraid to share that. The other thing I wanted to let you know too is that since this is, if you're looking for an angel reading with me, and you can go to my current webpage, theangelschool.com/services. You can select the first time promotional reading. Since this is my 10th anniversary, it's been offered unlimited to everyone this year. And so there are other things there as well, but everyone knows I'm not stingy with my time, so just be aware of that and make the choice that's right for you. And also, if you haven't subscribed, check the all notification bell and dislike, leave comments. Again, I appreciate them. I don't always have the time to respond to all of them, but I do read them. And that's why I'm just so overwhelmed by some of the things that people have started to engage, and the insights that even just wowed me as well. So I want that to be something that we all share with each other. All right, and then finally, and I'm just not prepared today, so I just want to mention it, and then I'm just want to let you know I'm going to try to figure out something better to do, but so it's like one of those things, don't charge it to my head, but what they say, charge it to my head, not to my heart, is what we used to say when I was growing up in my church. So I want to just really thank the people who have started to support my channel using my PayPal link. I really appreciate that, and I'm going to do something I've decided the way I want to do it. But I might just put something in the description link today, or if I figure out some other things. But I just really want you to know that I appreciate what you've done, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is something that you do not have to do. It's just that people have asked me over the years, and if you would like to contribute and support the channel, then I appreciate it. All right, so let's take a deep breath and tune into this week's energy. And just place your attention on your heart chakra. And so I'm sensing or feeling, sort of seeing the angel number 448, which is, okay. And it says, let me see if I can, it says the angels are helping you with finances. So be sure to notice and follow any intuitive thoughts that inspire you to take positive action, as this is one way that the angels are helping you. Expect financial improvements as they're on their way. Okay, so they're helping you, and they want you to be sure, especially they want you to know, especially to notice and follow any intuitive thoughts to take positive actions. So this, whatever these thoughts that you're having, ideas, they will impact you financially in a very positive way. And they were, before the reading started, they kept writing the word capitalize, manifestation, and organization. And when, I don't know if an organization felt more like an organization, like some kind of company or something like this. So it didn't feel like they were saying, focus on being organized. So they just kept writing it. So I see that the word capitalize is that this is the time to capitalize on your ideas. And they're writing in front of me right now, stagnation. So you've been either, stagnating for a while, or feeling that things have been stagnating. And this idea that you've been receiving, and they said, right, recognition, okay? So I don't know if it's that you will receive recognition or that you need to recognize these ideas. Give them your time, your energy, and your focus. Okay? So this is a time to capitalize, as this is an incredible time for, manifesting things that you have been praying for. And so they're giving you those ideas. If you're waiting for, something to happen, I think this is it. It's not that, it could be still that, you get a phone call or whatever, but it's really about you listening to your ideas, your thoughts, and knowing and trusting that this is a time to capitalize on them. Okay? And it might involve some type of organization. It might involve, it might also involve you getting yourself a bit, organized. But I really felt like it was about an organization. Now they just wrote obligation. And I felt like when I saw it, it's sort of like, so don't tie yourself down with some kind of obligations. Like if you have some previous obligations, right? I feel like this is more important. So you might need to make some decisions about, right? And an organization, again, so this is where the organization part might come in, meaning that you need to really organize your priorities. not like get organized, but you need to organize your priorities in terms of within your mind, within your heart. So you have things organized in your mind, but you need to get them organized according to your heart. And they're saying this is huge. Because we're always trying to do everything with our minds, as if the heart isn't the central part of you. Your heart is like the chimes of your soul. Your heart is, like the voice of your soul. And through your emotions, you know what your priorities are. Through your heart, you know what your priorities are. And this is where you capitalize, not on the mental stuff. All right, they're writing judgment. So I feel like what they're trying to say is that you judge, right? And when you judge things, you judge them from your fears, from your ego. This is a time, there's a phrase, this is a time for freedom here. This is a time to put aside those things that have not been serving you, and being willing to know what that is. It's like if you think of the judgment card, and there's usually this horn, so the trumpet call, like heaven, the angels are calling you. And at that moment, of atonement, of alignment, of clarity, I think is one of the biggest things about that card, for me personally. It's a moment of profound clarity. When that trumpet sounds, everything becomes clear. Everything is put into perspective. All right? That's what death does, the actual death. It's in our lives, sort of hovering over us, because it keeps putting our lives in perspective. Because sometimes we can just think, I can just, like, we keep getting these signs that, like, to make this turn this way, and we just decide, well, I'm not ready. Whatever the stuff that we do, that we get stuck, that causes us to stagnate, procrastinate, etc. But when that trumpet sounds, when the idea of death, or that I may have to think about how I've lived my life, all of a sudden, gives us that feeling of being judged, right? So we kind of sober up, and we figure out our priorities. We figure out what our heart's trying to say. And it's almost that atonement is sort of that bell that rings within us that, says, okay, just a reminder, right? And I really don't like to push this, but it's not literal what I'm saying here, in no way, shape, or form. But it is an important idea, concept, that you need to understand about making your heart the priority. Because for this reason, they want you to know, and they're writing it again, that if you do, you'll be able to capitalize on the clarity, the purpose, the direction. You'll be able to capitalize on this. And it is the time the universe, your heart, your soul has aligned everything for you always. Manifestation is not a thing. What is a thing is your ego projecting illusions so loudly that you don't hear, and then get used to ignoring your heart. And it's because of some fear, they're writing, of responsibility for these magnificent desires, dreams, and goals that you have. The ego layers in. It's like they write in like orgasm, and the word that comes to my mind is joy kill. It's like your ego is a joy kill, because the universe gives you this orgasm of pleasure through this knowing and connection you have with something you're passionate about, and then your ego starts chiming in about responsibility, and it's a joy kill. And it can do that when you don't know, or you're not making your priorities according to your heart. And so why do we need something like death or any other things that scare us into being true to ourselves? In order to listen to our souls, so in our hearts. And so therefore, if you start making this a practice, get out of your head is what that means. Because when you're in your head, you're thinking, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, and this is happening. And then it's like a ball of confusion. Because your mind was not meant to do the selection process. It's your heart that selects for you. Your mind offers all of the options. Your mind offers you the ability to create. It can be used when it's linked with your heart. The mind becomes your imagination. It becomes a place where dreams are realized, right? It becomes a place where ideas are conceptualized and formulated. It becomes a place where philosophy sort of blooms, right? And things take shape. So you can't do anything without your heart. Your heart will help you to organize the mind, because the mind, this is the feeling I'm just getting in the moment. It's just like, it's a chatterbox. It's a chatterbox of all kinds of thoughts and ideas. When your heart has a beacon call, or sends out a beacon call, then the mind organizes a organization around that purpose of the heart. Isn't that beautiful? And that's the missing link here. That's the disconnect. And when the heart sends the beacon call and the mind organizes itself in an imaginative, creative way, becomes an ideology of that beacon call, then that's when you're in this moment of capitalizing on ideas, because they will just start to link, like almost clicking into place and creating this picture, creating almost like a map. And I hesitate to say that because many of you who go back into your head and drop the heart and now look at the map, try to read it and say, I'm confused. I don't know what this means. Because you disconnected, you pulled the plug from the heart. You're not supposed to do that. You have to read the map with your heart. It's the only way to read it. And when you read it, you have something called faith. So it's not a map. I was watching this Korean drama, and it's sort of I can't explain it, but anyway, it was sort of like this mystery school of some kind of sorcery, right? So there was this one book, and the man wanted him to read it, but it was all filled with blank pages. But it was this magical book, and when he learned to read it with his heart, he saw the words. He couldn't see it until he read it with his heart. And so it's the same idea here. And faith is like that. faith is like everything is blind, right? You don't see anything, but yet you feel everything. Why does God? Why are we given faith? Why are we given that? Because it keeps the mind from being able to interpret. It keeps the mind, because when the mind interprets the heart, it's not, the mind, as you can see, is a tool of the heart. It cannot be, it's such a vast machine, right? Its purpose is to be vast. Its purpose is to be an open mind. Its purpose is to have all ideas, the full spectrum, the contrast of all ideas. It's like a word bank, a thought bank, an idea bank, right? Brainstorm. See how all these words come in? It's all of those things. But the heart is the complete opposite of all of those things. And they are like yin and yang in this sense. The heart is always this focal point, right? Like even love, when love, and if you can imagine God's love, source love, it loves everyone because of the love itself, right? It loves you, it loves me, it loves everything that is ever created. And love is so intentional and focused in its purpose and so specific that love is powerful enough to create the entire universe, which is full of structure and organization, full of forms and beautiful and oddly and imperfect shapes and designs, but all of it is still expression of that love. And it's because the love is so focused and so specific that those ideas can be as varied, vast, and infinite as anything could ever be. And so you having that focus of heart then will focus the mind and activate the word bank, the brainstorm, to centralize around an idea that you would be able to capitalize upon. And then once it capitalizes by expanding upon it, multiplying upon that, then the manifestation of that occurs. And it's just a matter of remaining possibly organized in terms of remaining true to the heart and remaining and being aware, reading this faith, reading the map with faith. You don't see all the details, but you feel the experience and you are drawn to experiences. You step onto any path that is recognizable to you as an energy signature of that map, of that faith, and you keep walking. And as you keep walking with that purpose, that centralized beacon call of purpose, then everything that you need comes to you because the heart is the center of the universe, of your universe. Its meaning, its feeling, its passion, its ideas are the center, the satellite of the universe. Like the sun is the central satellite of our galaxy. All right, and there was just another number they showed me, and then we'll get off the soapbox here. It's 495. It says, the angels are fully supporting you as you change your life so that you can fully focus on your spiritual passions as a career. And this does not mean, when they say spiritual, everything is spiritual. Anything that your heart desires is automatically spiritual. So nobody's asking you to come leave a job and do what I'm doing or anything that seems to be like it. Everything is spiritual. And we all have a purpose, and some of us multiple purposes. But as long as it's from the heart that is calling you, and you'll know because you will not be confused. And you only will be confused. Why? Because you have eluded the heart by not, meaning you haven't included it as step one in your process of gaining information. All right, let's take a look at the archangel that you're working with this week. Okay, so Archangel Joules. And Archangel Joules is the archangel of the oceans and waters. And it says, align with the highest, go with the flow. And his retreat is over the Bermuda Triangle. And I'm trying to remember too who he's, I think it was Archangel Twin Flame. Let me just look here. Yeah, the counterpart of Archangel Roquiel. So Archangel Roquiel works with hollow earth. So one of the things that you can do, and there's in the Bermuda Triangle, there's a great crystal of Atlantis in an energetic form. And so Archangel Joules connects you with the Christ light, okay? The 10th dimensional frequencies. So if you were to call upon Archangel Joules, you could ask him to anchor your 12 fifth dimensional chakras into the oceans and as this vast reservoir of the Christ light, all right, and really bring in that higher self's 10th dimensional frequency. So let me just tune in. So right now, align with the highest, and the only way you can really do that is with your heart. So once you tune into your heart, you will always be in alignment with the highest. And then the whole idea now is to just go with the flow. So he's writing that this is a time of expansiveness. And you all might be feeling, and I know me too, we're feeling this expansiveness. So it's like we got a bigger room or a bigger house, reality that we're living in. And it's scary because it's like, you got to move, like all of your things, your stuff sort of moves out into this expansion, right? And then it feels disorienting. And it's a little scary because when you have more room, being busy is ego. It's ego. Because when you're busy and your space is contracted, restricted, it's almost like you don't have time for anything else. You don't have room for anything else, right? But when your reality expands, it's very frightening because now you feel like you have more, there's room for other things. And either you don't want to add more to your plate, which is not what is being asked of you. You're being given this expansion so that you can experience, it feels like an expansion of vibration, number one. And then you're also being given the expansion so that you can free up your energy, free up your time, free up your responsibilities and obligations. Because the expansion will take you into a whole new experience, which means on that plain new level of experience, there are things that are no longer needed. And I don't know if I'm explaining this, what they're trying to get across to me about this busy, but it's just something about when we're busy, it's like we're restricted. And it's an excuse. It's an ego-based driven concept that we all focus on being busy as being productive and successful. And they would like to ask you to think about expansiveness. Because in expansiveness, there's more time for awareness. So therefore, there's more time. It seems like you have more time. There's more quality of experience that you can have. When you're busy, you don't have quality. You totally are reliant on quantity. And when you're busy, you don't even have a concept of quantity because you never have enough time. So fear, because it's driven by lack. Okay. All right, let's take a look. And when you go with the flow, and it's just a thing that reminds me, when you go with the flow, especially with time, so instead of trying to get like a bunch of things done and then worry about it from the moment you wake up, if you go with the flow, if you do what your heart intuitively guides you to start with first, because here's what you have to understand. And I'm just going to use the concept of subconscious for a moment, because I like to think that the subconscious, the part that's not conscious, is the unlimited aspect of us. So that means the subconscious is aware of dimensions, right? All at the same time. It's aware of everything in your surrounding, even in the directions where you're not looking, and in infinite stretches of space and time, right? So the idea here is that this part of you knows exactly what's on your mind, but because it knows your heart, then it will guide your heart and guide you to get all those tasks done, but in the order of the heart, which will change your awareness of time from being busy, lack-based, to expansiveness, and which will feel like effortless. It will feel like a pleasure, and you will have felt like either all day you had energy because you were just intuitively moving, trusting faith, the map, faith, having faith that the universe understood everything that you needed to get done and orchestrated you through it, navigated you through it. I've experienced this for myself. And when I go back to the old way of thinking about my schedule as busy, it causes you to panic, it causes you to withdraw, causes you to have anxiety, right? And then you do nothing. And then you spend all your time in a limited space where you feel the pressure of everything on you, weighing down on you. But when you go with this expansiveness, this means you tap into the heart's intuitive navigation, and you don't think about what you have to get done. You listen to your intuition, who will instruct you what to get done next, and it will feel like you were dancing all day, and you will just feel ecstatic. I just can't tell you. It's incredible. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the first card. So this card has come up. I don't know if it was last week or for this new week coming up, but the 5 of Wands. And like I'm looking at these little bubbles here, and it's sort of like those ideas I was talking about before. And we seem to struggle. It's like they're not even, and what is it that they're struggling with, right? We're competing with ourselves. This is what the mind does, waste time. I like to think of this card too as you can't see the forest for the trees, right? You're focused on all the wrong details. This is what happens when you are in this busy mentality, meaning ambitious, competitive mentality, you focus on all the wrong details. None of the things that you're worried about, none of the things that you're fighting for, none of the things that you're competing for have anything to do with the heart. It's like the heart prompted the adventure, and then by this point you have lost connection. That's why in the card before, the Four of Wands, it's a time, like, to sort of celebrate, to mark a milestone, to commemorate, to take the time to reflect on what you've done thus far, and after the initial stages, to reconnect to the foundation of your purpose, your commitment, so that you don't get lost in the five. You don't get lost in all of the ideas, getting caught up in your fears, provoking you and driving you and motivating your actions. And what you end up doing is, what is it that, because challenges are a part of our life. It's a part of the contrast. It is a part of that discernment process. But the thing is are you taking the opportunity to see what it is that you're learning? So you're in challenges with all these different people. What have you picked up about them that makes them who they are? And not just based on their skills and talents, but make the connection to their heart. Find something about them that is connected to their heart. Find the priority that's connected to their heart. Because when you do that, you have a completely different perspective about them and yourself. To recognize when someone else's heart is connected to their purpose, and that you see that the thoughts and the imagination is capitalizing on it because it's such a focus there, it will reconnect you with your own. Okay, so this is a card that could be, about like, some comparisons going on, some unfair comparisons, or that some tension, but you have the opportunity to turn it around. And first focus, don't let your thoughts be scattered. Don't let your fears start dictating what you should be focused upon. You recenter yourself. Okay, here we have the Two of Wands. And so this is almost giving us a sense that this is something career. This reading, that we're talking about those things in your finances. And so if there's a job that has come up for you, that you've seen, it resonates with you, don't think about all the other stuff. Just go for it and see what happens. But get because the idea is that when you could do anything and find purpose and meaning, once you are listening to your heart, your ideas will, and your expectations will be orchestrated around that, and then you can bring the miracle of love to any storm, any situation. So this card here, the Two of Wands, this is a card where some people see it as a card of planning. In the Thoth is like, titled Dominion. I was reading one person, she was talking about it's like people think about conquering the world, right? So he's got uses the globe in his hand, but here he has it is his crown chakra, and he's just sort of looking up. It's that making a decision, making a choice, figuring out how you want to impact the world. You don't have to conquer the world. And I'm saying this not in some sinister way. We've had dictators, right? So that's an interesting concept that she put out there. But I don't think this is something that has to do with a dictator. But I think it's our own issue. It makes us hesitant to figure out, our purpose, or it makes it very challenging to figure out what our purpose is, because we feel like, we're supposed to go out there and conquer the world. We're supposed to change it. But this is about you really finding alignment with the world, because the universe is vast. This is about you finding alignment with yourself, and then seeing that mirror reflection of yourself within the world. And then you take yourself there, like as if to plant a seed, and let yourself become a part of that like a seed that would then grow, right, and become a part of that environment. So this is just a reminder for you to really connect into who you are within your soul, within your heart. You're not here to conquer the world. You're not here to change the world. That is all automatic. When you live from your heart, you conquer the world through love. You attract the world to you. You don't have to go out and conquer it. You attract it to you. Okay? And so get centered in who you are, in your soul, in your heart. And then see what part of the world out there resonates with that energy. Then go there and plant your seed. Express yourself, they're saying. This is about energy and an expression of it. That's the world. That's the unlimited world that will continue to expand as you continue to serve it. So they're really breaking this card down to energy, like in the most direct meaning. Think of this card is about like so if, let's say you're, when we're all 18 and we're trying to figure out what we wanted, where we're going to go to college, why we're going to do what we're doing. And it's energy. You are an energy. Your energy could be healing. You could be a teacher energy. You could be whatever kind of energy. Then you look out into the world and you look for that energy that will allow you to express that energy there. A place where you resonate, where you can express that energy. And it doesn't have to be, again, out there, but the world is a reality. But the world is the reality of you, is a reflection of you. So if you're just really clear about your heart, then that world will attract itself to you. That map of faith will reveal itself to you. All right, let's take a look at the final card for the week, and this is the Knight of Cups. Who better to talk about passion and commitment, devotion to a quest? And he's not here trying to conquer the world or his mission. Again, you can't conquer something when your heart desires it. Your heart will lead you to it. You will not fail. No matter how it might seem that you are failing in terms of success in the outer reality, but you must focus on the energy essence within you and listen to its joy. You must not define your heart but according to the outer experiences of your reality. You must define the outer experiences of your reality according to your heart, to its purpose, to its energy essence. Whether that be joy, whether it be peace, healing, harmony, whatever it is, that is how you must look at your world. And where it is, and that is what you must endeavor to offer it. You must seek it out and express it until it becomes this for you. And as things attract towards you, those all connected with your heart's signature, it will fulfill. You will not fulfill it by yourself. You never have to do that. You just have to be committed, have faith to the desire of your heart. All right. Now we have the Page of Cups. We have cups, cups, water, water. We have Archangel Joules here. So this is about a message coming to you in some form. And they've talked about these ideas. So these are going to be ideas, because you think of thoughts, you think of swords, but cups, because these ideas have found purpose and organization through your heart. And when you do this, this means that you're going to have, they write the word expectations. I was going to say surprise. So you're going to have surprising expectations come through for you in this week. If you can align your heart and then listen to the ideas that are capitalizing on the purpose of your heart, and then allow for that expansion by not trying to think about why you should or should not do this, or how should I do this. All those questions, get rid of them. Who, what, when, where, what. Don't ask them. Listen to your heart. Listen to its intuitive guidance. Trust it, follow it. And don't worry that you might make a fool out of yourself, because you might go and it's not that what you're looking for, but a conversation you might discover with somebody unfolds, and that was what you were looking for, and you didn't even know it. Faith. Faith. Don't you see, with faith, you are free from the restrictions of the mind and time, and how the mind alone and time work. The mind and time alone work in terms of anxiety, because your mind is too vast, created that way. It's a brainstorm. It just supplies it's like all the products in the grocery store, like a big one of those big mega markets, right? That's what your brain is. That's what your mind is. It's not supposed to be the guide, because it's the stock house of everything that you might want to create with. So faith, yes, trust your heart. Don't try to make sense of anything. Just listen, follow, trust that everything that you need will be provided for you, etc., etc., etc. And forget the rest until it shows up, or until you are prompted to connect with it, because you feel within your essence an expansion. That's what love feels like. It's an expansion. So we can't live restricted. We can't be busy in the sense that we feel like we're busy, in the sense that being busy feels like quantity rather than quality. I mean, you can be busy and it can be quality, but that's only because it's intuitive all day long. There's no interruption of pleasure all day long. That's why children don't run out of energy, because they follow their bliss all day long. They go from one pleasure to the next, and what do we want to do? Stop doing that. Okay? So we've trained ourselves to ignore following our bliss from just being human, right? And scared that we would hurt ourselves, or our children would hurt themselves. And so we trained ourselves not to be free-flowing with this information. So Archangel Joules can help you to get into that free-flowing timeline, can help you to find that free-flowing spiritual essence of time as quality. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless.